So here we have two Zune HDs. I have my Zune HD and my father's Zune HD. And I just want to give two experiences here. This Zune HD on the left does not have the Twitter app installed. This one on the right does have the Twitter app installed. So I want to go quickly through what it looks like to install the Twitter app on your Zune HD. So let me start off here. I'm going to go back to my second home screen column. I'm going to switch over to my first one. I'm going to open the marketplace. Now let me pause for a second so I can just autofocus this here. I'm going to go to the apps column here. And just below Texas Hold'em, I do see the Twitter option. But I can also go over to the new heading and I can select Twitter as well. So I'm going to choose that and I'm going to choose to add it to my cart. And I do see a confirmation dialog asking me if I'm sure. I'm sure. Now my cart's brought up. I see I have a few more options in here other than just Twitter, and I want only Twitter. So I'll select it and I'll hit the check option to start downloading it. And you see the download is relatively quick because it's only a 3 megabyte file. So it definitely helps out in terms of thinking about file management, but also just download speed too over Wi-Fi. I'm going to go back to now playing for a moment as I bring up what it looks like to use Zune HD on a device that already has it installed. So instead of having to go over to the marketplace or apps, and since I've already used the app on my device, I can just go either to history or what was recently installed. So I'll select history for the time being. And you see that there are no advertisements with this app loading because it's a utility and not a program. And so you see it already has my username and password in there, and it just automatically starts loading my Twitter timeline, and it refreshes with the latest tweets as they come in since I last opened the program. So you see this is the home screen here. This is what you see when you log on to a web interface or whatever other Twitter client you use. And you do have the option to take a look at more tweets that happened in the past. I have a low battery, so I do have the option to keep on going down here and keep on looking at what's going on. I can take a look at who I'm following, and this gives me a quick view of the people that I chose to follow. It gives me a look at their username, their Twitter username, as well as their real username, their location, as well as their biography. And if I select one here, it opens it up and it's going to pull down here in a second to show me sort of like a full view of that individual. And so I can choose to unfollow, block this person, or I can choose to follow their personal web address. And I can take a look at recent tweets they have. I can search for any tweets mentioning Kelly Lux. I can also choose followers and people that they're following. If I hit the back option here, I go back to my individuals who are following me. I can also switch over to followers, and these are people who follow me, but I might not necessarily follow them back. Some of these are bots, other people are individuals who are in Zune Nation, and if you guys are someone in Zune Nation who is following me or who are following me and I'm not following you back, trust me, I'll get around to you. I love you guys. Zune Nation, you guys rock. Trust me on that one. So these are the followers, and I might not necessarily follow you, but you see the checks next to the people that I do follow. So I can go back to the timeline, and you see that the swiping is very similar to what you do if you're browsing through music in the Zune music videos or pictures. And that's something that's nice to see, some interface continuity between the apps and the device itself. Now these are personal messages to me, tweets mentioning me, and so a few of the top one here, I asked Carl what he thought about the app, or to actually for personal messages for this video, and so he's definitely a fan of the app. Dill Pickle is also a fan of last week's Inside the Circle podcast, and Eganst is wondering how I'm doing. So you definitely see that these are the tweets that I'm looking at, and these are Velix is definitely a fan of the app as well. I remember what that tweet's about, and it's showing people who are responding to me as I'm talking with them online. Again, it loads more, and it keeps on going back and back. I can also take a look at tweets that I've favorited, and these tweets are the ones that I've really liked and the ones that have made me happy over the time. Sometimes I find them useful to hang on to them. Other times they're articles that I want to read, but I don't have time to read them for the time being. One is by New TV. I'm interested in the Motorola Droid, and so I just have a few articles that I've saved by it. Another one by Matt Singley is an article about social media. So it's things like that that I like to save, and you definitely do have the option to even click on the link if you want to, and it gives you the dialog box, do I want to open a browser? So I don't want to look at it just now, but I do have that option to either reply to this tweet, even though it happened 11 days ago. I can send a direct message to Matt Singley. I can also search for other tweets mentioning Matt Singley. So again, you definitely do see a full-featured client here. And again, these are direct messages. So you do have the option to take a look at inbox messages that you've received, as well as messages that you've sent. So it's sort of, again, full-featured in terms of seeing different messages that you've sent and that you've received. Again, you're using the swipe motion to go sideways and back and forth. Let me get over here to followers. Let me go back to my timeline. Now along the bottom you do have a few more options. You have the option to write a tweet or a direct message, and again, it's the same way. You swipe back and forth, or you can just tap back and forth between the two. Now I can choose to add people, and this will bring up all the people that I'm following. And so if I want to, I can choose to add Adam Stafford from over at Zune, or I can choose to add a few other people here, like maybe BF3 Nation. And if I want to, it pulls up a very similar screen, the exact screen to what you would see if you actually hit any of the letters while you're looking at either an artist album page or something like that. So I can jump to, say, M to see if I want to hit a guy up from my club lacrosse team, or if I want to talk to a few other people, say Matt Singley, the MS carrot of the @Zune account. So it definitely helps out to see people like that, and to choose different people and select other type of people, and select someone if I want to send them a message. So if I want to send ThemeXP a message, I just select ThemeXP. And if I want to tell them what I'm listening to, I can hit the media button on the side of my device, which brings up the now playing screen. So I'm listening to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, it being Christmas, the holiday season and all. I just hit that button, and now you see that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is in a tweet to ThemeXP. And I have the option to send it, or I have the option to cancel it. I'm going to cancel, and again it asks me do I want to cancel. Yes, I do. And so now I'm back in my timeline. Let me bring back up that home screen there. Go back to now playing. And I do have the option to search. Search runs a bit slow, but I chose to search for Kelly Lux, and that was something I did choose before. So now if I wanted to search for, maybe like Tony Braxton, this is the option. I can search for all tweets by Tony Braxton, and that's the search option again. So it's going to try and pull up all tweets mentioning Tony Braxton or from Tony Braxton, and it's going to have them below so I can take a look through them and see what's interesting about Tony Braxton. Sometimes it takes a bit of a while, especially if I'm running on low battery, and I'm going to let that keep going. I'm just going to go back for the time being and show you the last option, which is the settings page. It's relatively basic for the time being. I can choose to log out, or I can choose to view the terms of Twitter, and again ask me if I want to open up a browser window, which brings up the Zune HD browser. But overall, I really do like the Twitter app. One item that you see is that you will notice is missing, not Fox Sports West, but I want to take a look at Trombone for Hire, is the option to retweet. I can't retweet a message, which is something that's a downside. So hopefully I will be able to do that in the future. I can reply to a message. I can search for Trombone for Hire like you've seen before. I can also choose to favorite this message, but I can't retweet right now. So hopefully it's coming in a later release, but right now this is the Twitter app for Zune HD, and I'm really a fan of it.